competition questions or shooting questions, movements,
So
anything.
I took 4 days of training this weekend, 2 with rifle, 2 with pistol, and
ton of hours.
32 hours.
That's a lot.
And I didn't really get a lot of video. What I did is helpful, but we did a lot of, especially with the rifle, because everything's easier with a lighter, smaller gun. So rifle is kind of the marker that I'm using. But we would get down into positions, get up, side prone, kneeling, and the only area where I was. What the cool thing is, and I should just show you, unless you've already seen it, but I'm shooting with a partner, and we're doing identical things. We're mirroring each other because he's shooting off the right side, I'm shooting off the left side, or vice versa. So we both go down. We drop down at the same time. We get up at the same time. We move at the same time. We go down to prone, and we get up. And the only time I lagged behind a big, strong guy, the only time I lagged behind was getting up from the ground, like side prone, getting up. And I was just like slow, disjointed, uncoordinated.
It's
and so
probably bone structure, but I mean, as far as how you're lining your body.
Yeah, I mean, like if we go down to side prone, you know, and I'm doing something like this.
Let me see if I've got this here so I can see it. Okay.
If I'm doing something like this, and then we have to get up.
Okay.
It's like
Turkish Get Up.
I'm like doing this.
Okay.
And, you know, which was better than what I actually did.
Okay.
You know, in real life, it's like. And I'm looking, he's already up, and he's waiting at least a solid second or 2 for me.
That's upper body strength too.
So I would like to work on, you know, getting down. I'm just like, you know, it's easy. Getting up, it's.
Okay.
I'm like, what do I move first, and what am I? He's like, oh, and then he's up, and I'm like, blah blah.
Okay, so let's think about a Turkish Get Up.
Turkish Get Up.
A Turkish Get Up, not the outfit, but okay. So when I do here, and we've done this with a kettlebell. So for example, if I go holding the kettlebell from my chest up, foot. Now watch, see if this is familiar.
Yeah, it's from getting up from your back in Krav.
Yeah, so like getting up off the ground tactically too. And if I need to, I can do this with a firearm. Now, with a kettlebell or a weight here, structurally I have to do this. Okay. So this has to be, do you see where my hand's going? If you ran a line from my hand to the floor, where would it go through? Straight down my back. Okay, now, when I do this, now, I'm not doing this to sit up. I can.
Like, meaning you're not doing
this will change this angle. I can just sit up this way. I want to use every mechanical advantage I have on my body structurally to help me get up. I don't want to waste energy. I don't want to be tired. This is like I always tell my guys that fight. Save your energy. And that's what I said, do you want to do it at that angle so you can see the whole floor?
Sure.
And see me in a longer posture?
This is better than before.
I'll turn this way. Is that I want to save my energy for a fight. I don't want to waste my energy when I don't need to waste it. And you go, well, I could power through this. Okay, what are you going to do it right after? What if you need it right after? What if you need it right after? What if you need it right after? I always want a little in the tank. All right, so now, when I do this, when I sit up structurally, if I want to get up now, this is the same as getting up from the floor. Notice I haven't moved this, and I do this now. So mechanically, how difficult is that? From here.
It takes coordination, but mechanically it's not.
I'm moving my arm, and now when I push, how much energy do I have to use? Watch where I'm going. How much energy do I have to use to get up?
I'm assuming
it's
not
minimal.
A lot. Yeah.
It's minimal. Watch how far. So if you look over here, watch how far my elbow moves from over here. If I do this, watch how far this elbow moves.
Yeah.
How far did the elbow move?
Just straightened.
Okay, but how far did it move in space? So like if you held your hand here, and now where it finishes, how far did it move? 4 or 5 inches? Okay, that's much easier than me trying to do this and sit up. How far is my elbow moving? Do you see everything moving around?
Yeah.
Structurally too, when I do this is simple because what I'm doing is I'm not pushing myself up this way.
And you have to catch yourself with your abs.
Is that I am doing this. This is just like punching. And I turn and I use my body. Now I'm here. This is easy. Now, we do this tactically too. We can go from here as I do this. Okay. Now, I can stand. Here, now watch. When I reverse it, watch how your body moves then. Watch how I move structurally. You'll see knee over the ankle, knee under the hip. Everything's 90 degrees this way as much as possible. When I turn, look what my body's doing. And I'm doing this as easy as possible. Now, to find the floor, I don't do this. If I have to hold a heavy weight, I don't want to do this. Why?
You're tipping.
Yeah, and I have to use this then to control here. So if I have a firearm and I do this, do I want to have to do this to move? What would happen? The further I get the weight away from the center of me, the more I have to use muscles to do anything. Now, if you always remember, bones are for support, muscles are for locomotion. Okay? Structurally, what this means is that I can muscle through things, hence the term muscle through it, but I'm doing the job that my bones should be doing. I'm doing the job of the frame of the house to hold myself upright. And we'll go back to this, so if I forget, remind me, and we'll go back to shooting stance, because I showed this to someone last night from where we go from shooting stance and fighting stance, and they went, oh, you don't move at all. And I go, yeah, because you're rotating around your spine rather than wobbling. So now, if we go back to this, is structurally, I want, if I'm moving things, I don't want to use muscle to lower myself, or I want to use as little as possible. So now when I do this, if I'm moving here, as I find the floor by doing what? I find it by, not by doing, do you see what I'm doing? I need to use all of my back and my shoulder to find the floor. How I find the floor is I do this, is I lower myself, this where you get into the, you ever shoot from here? Okay. So tactically too, if you think about going from a seated position to shoot, there's a lot of position. If I have to find the floor, I do this by lowering and turning this, stretching this, and now it's easy. Now if you see where my arm is, where's my arm? It's going, this arm goes where? Look how it's a mirror image of this.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah, it's structurally, now I could do this, and I could do this forever.
Yeah.
Okay, look familiar?
Yes.
Okay, so when I do this, I can stay here as long as I want because of structural alignment. Now, if I had to hold it by holding muscle, as soon as my muscles are done, I'm done. And this is what we talked about as far as using what you have, mechanical advantage, and using all the skill set you have to the maximum. Okay, so I go, I can power, I'm very strong, especially for my body weight. I'm very like chimp strong. I don't use it. I don't use it until I need it. I've always wanted it in a reserve tank so that I can always do this. And if I need a little extra, it's there. I want to be almost lazy in my mechanical efficiency so that I always have a reserve tank. I never want to blow out my reserve tank. Because when the reserve tank's gone, you go, now what are you going to do? Oh, magically something will happen. Nope. No, it doesn't. Okay? So think of structurally. Now when I find this, and you see me find the floor, now when I rotate, look how my body's moving. So what am I, well, here's the structure I'm using from here to here to here. And I'm using the big muscle, so I use less energy. Now I'm here. Now when I go down,
Elbow.
So you see this where the only thing I change in reversing is that when I come up, now when I find the floor, so when I get to here, now when I find the floor, this is in the exact same spot that it started with when I did this. Okay, it has to be, because if I put it in a different spot, mechanically, do you see where my body goes?
Yes.
Now I do this. I can hold it by muscle. We'll hold it for a while then. Okay, go ahead. Now, when I find this, or here, there's a reason why people sit like this at the beach and not like this. Stupid, yeah? So when I get to here, this is the same as this. This is the same as here. Now if you do this, okay, now watch when I move down. If this is heavy, do I want to do this? Okay, so you see this go. So how do I want to lower myself? How did I get up in the first place?
Push and roll. Rolled. Yeah.
Watch what I'm doing. So I could do this, and you'll see people do this when they get up. Look where my arm went.
Yeah, it's in front now.
Now, if I give you a 50-pound kettlebell, guess where it's going?
On your knees.
Yeah, you better do this when you do that. So when I sit up structurally, I do to the side. Do you see it? Now look where my shoulder is. Now for you, you were in this position, yes?
It's like trapping.
Yeah, so it's the same as doing Krav Maga,
Yeah.
doing this rotational technique. Also, when we press dumbbells or kettlebells, what I have you do, when you punch, here's what you do.
Yeah.
When you do this, everything is the same. There's only so much movement, okay? The human body only moves so many ways. Yes, that would be one of my quotes. Okay, so now from here, I'll have you do it.
Okay.
Go to this position to where you were shooting from, and then show me structurally what you would do to get up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was shooting like this or offhand, and someone was like up. I'd be like this, and then stand up.
Okay. Do you feel where your head went immediately?
No.
Go back. Go back. Go back.
Like.
Okay. Okay. Now, do this. Go back. Do it again. Okay, now do it with your eyes closed. Now, go slow. Really slow. Does that feel comfy?
No.
Oh, okay. Go back. Okay, now, and visualize me doing it. What do you think I would do from that position to make it really, really... Oh, yeah. One. Okay, now where would your hand go? Where would it be optimally put on the ground to help you up?
Well, with the angle of my...
No. Yeah, you do. You just you haven't figured it out yet. So where would you put it? You're on track. Roll toward me. No, go back, start again. Okay, here, let's do this. So you can
I got
watch
the
me
first
do it.
step.
You put me in the position where you start. And
Is
I'll
this
kinda
like
walk you
wiping
through.
drool off a toddler's face for you?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's fun. It's fun though because I can see you thinking and how you're learning and how you're thinking about things,
Yeah.
which is how I know to direct you. So,
Okay.
that's structural. Okay. Structural. Okay. Now, you're here? Is this the position?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm shooting one-handed.
Rifle or one-handed or whatever.
Okay, let's say if I'm shooting rifle. How do you want me to get up? Can I go one-handed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Do it again.
Okay, now watch. What does this look like? Watch this.
It looks like you're a
Turkish Get Up. Oh! So here's where you're thinking, you're like,
I'm like,
oh shit, Steve, I need arm strength. Well, your legs are a lot bigger and stronger. Why don't you use them? You go, well, I've got a big gun. Okay, I can do this with a 70-pound kettlebell. Does your gun weigh 70 pounds?
No.
Nope. Does it weigh 35 pounds?
Nope.
Does it weigh 17 pounds? Nope. What is it, 9?
That's going to be between
8, 9?
9 and 11 fully loaded, all of that.
That's a lot smaller than 70. Yeah? Okay, so now when I do this, I'm here, watch my body. Simple? I know. But it's not that it's hard to do, it's how you're thinking about it.
Is that better?
Yeah, that was, okay, so watch what did my feet do?
was.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Remember the part that I accentuated? If you go back, what part did I emphasize the most on the getting up? What did we spend the most time on?
The elbow.
Uh-huh.
Elbow.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, so here, here, you can watch from the side. Just watch where my body goes. Does this look like it's straining?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
This is even easier because I don't need to keep this vertical.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to keep this vertical, now I need to adjust this and you see how I'm rotating my body to do it? Mm-hmm. But when I do this, here's my weight, does this. Now if I can hold here, this makes this super simple, and I do this. I could go shoot from here, regroup. If you wanted to, you could do this, or tactically you could do this. Ever have to do that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's one of the exercises I work in class, and we do it with ammo cans, with a 23-pound ammo can. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people do this. They go to sit and they go, because they're not moving their body structurally, in a structurally correct way. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah? So what did I do with my foot?
Your foot planted at like.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Now just turn your hip over and put your foot down. Yeah.
Like that.
Now, would you want
Is
your
this
arm
too far
that?
away?
Yep.
Okay.
I was just going to ask you where you wanted it. Make it as simple as possible. If you had to lay there for an hour, where would you put your arm? So move your foot and sit up. Move your foot, now sit up. Okay, now where would you, no, just your forearm. Where would you want your arm? Okay, move your foot over.
Okay.
And start to sit up. Okay, now adjust from there. Where would you want your arm? If I had to make you lay there for an hour, where would you want?
Like this.
Where would you want your left hand? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll put it there when you get to that. Where is it?
It's tucked closer.
It's directly under your
Shoulder?
Yeah. So that
Okay.
would you want a house with the walls like this? And it's only like 2 degrees off. It should be fine. It's not the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So if you
but
see me, if I go from here, for example, you can go from here. When I do this, this is simple, yeah? I could shoot from here if I wanted to,
yeah.
okay? But if I can transition and do this and I can get this to here, I don't want to, let's say if we're laying, okay, immediately, what do you have that's your mechanical advantage?
You have a brace point, really.
Yeah.
You can pull that into your shoulder.
Okay, now is this comfy to lay here like this?
No.
No, it's going to be predicated on your grip and forearm strength. So maybe for you, I would do this is go from here to here and access.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
pretty simple?
Yes, but simple does not mean easy.
That is true.
Especially when it's
New motor
ABCs
movement.
for you, and it's yeah, it just
Yeah, but this is all movement you know though too, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Here, you work that for a second. I'm going to turn the air on because it's getting a little muddy.
Okay.
Okay, getting it?
Getting it.
Okay. Now, think about what was funny as hell is Benny came in on Sunday when we were doing instructor training, and he goes, I thought about it all night, and for Corinne with the Galil, and he goes, the loading and reloading here's how I would do it, is I would always do this, so here's how I would do, and it was exactly,
What we were talking
it was
about.
exactly the
Yeah.
same. He goes, I felt bad because I've never had a problem with the Galil, and I didn't want to make Corinne feel bad. I go,
Yeah.
she doesn't care. You're asking you, and he used it for years. So reverse engineering. So for me, I mentally I reverse engineer movement quickly. Now, what you should do to feel this is reverse engineering. So if you had to stand, go one-handed on your shoulder, let's do this. Let's do combat application.
Okay.
You had to get down behind cover.
Okay.
Okay? Your left arm is shot and it doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
How would you do it? Well, the hand. Let's say the hand doesn't work. I
Okay.
can't grip,
Okay.
but I can post with it.
Right.
I can post with it.
Then you want me to just get down behind cover?
Uh-huh.
Just like do something like this.
Okay. Now, use the hand, but don't squeeze. Let's say the hand's broken. Now come back up. Come back up. Nope, all the way. Yeah, correctly. Good. Okay. Now let's go from here. Let's say the hand is broken and you can't squeeze anything.
Okay.
Okay. But you can find your way to the ground.
Okay.
Now, what would be the most efficient way to find yourself to the ground?
I usually plop.
No plopping.
Okay, no
Let's
plopping.
reverse engineer this.
Okay. So
Okay.
so I would go here,
Okay.
here,
Okay.
here.
Okay. Could you do all of that with a broken hand?
It would hurt.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna hurt. Yeah, pain's relative.
I mean, I can't squeeze, but I can feel, yeah.
Yeah, but are you gonna do this? Now if you flopped and you jammed your wrist, would that hurt it more?
Yes.
That would. Okay. So, but that way of getting down, it was pretty efficient, yes?
Yeah.
Does that look okay?
Yeah, you're missing one piece. You're missing one little piece. Take your time, reverse it. I should be able to, when you work things, remember we talked about, I think it was last week, and we talked about making micro corrections. That's when Joey was asking me, he goes, what's the biggest thing when you're training and you're doing something that is repetitive and boring? So imagine playing a piece of music and I do this, stop. And you stop mid-note and I go, play the last 4 notes backwards. Okay, now go forward. Now go back. Now play the measure before. Okay, now go ahead and continue on. That you can stop anywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
That I can stop anywhere and go forward and back. And then making micro movements. So for me, I'll do this with a blue gun. I'll do it with a shotgun. Is in making micro movements. Now when I find the floor, so watch me if I do this. I can do this no hand. Let's say I get this shot and I can put it on the ground. It's gonna hurt bad, but I can use it and I do this. Do you see how I'm using my body?
Yeah.
And I use it just as a post. Okay? Yeah? Does that make sense? Now to reverse this, when I get up, I do this and I go, no, get back down. You go, okay.
Okay.
Okay, get up, okay. No, shit, get back down.
Okay. Which we do. That's totally applicable. Yeah, we do that. Can we number these, like in the draw stroke?
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah, it
you
might be
know-
about 9 movements.
Okay, never mind then.
Okay, well, you can. If that's how you learn it better, that's great too. I mean, so for me, if I'm here, and this is slightly lighter than yours, 1.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Let me go back. Okay. 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5.
6.
Online.
And I can do that. I that would help me to think of it in numbers so that I don't skip. Same thing in the draw
Okay.
stroke. You
Sure.
don't skip. And you only need the numbers for a little bit, but then,
Yeah. which is weird with athletic movement, is we teach it in chunks, but it never runs in chunks.
Right.
It's smooth. Where you miss, where people miss is the transition between each movement. So you'll see someone that looks very athletic, quote athletic, everything runs absolutely smooth. Where somebody else looks like they're drowning.
But they learned it in chunks.
Yes,
that's why
and you have to
eventually
learn in chunks, but you have to integrate. The two pieces have to move seamlessly together. It's not that you move that way, it's learning the pieces cognitively so that you can piece them together. So it'd be like learning a piece of music.
Putting Lego blocks together.
Yes, same.
It's one piece
Exactly
in the end.
same. Yeah.
Okay.
You
All
go
right.
measure by measure by measure by measure by measure, and then taking it apart the same way. Put it
Got
back
it.
together. Take it apart, put it back together. So, do you want to go through numbering then?
Yeah, let's number this real
Okay.
quick.
Okay. So, how did I find my? Oh well, let's go back to this. You stay right there. I'll find my way down, as I'll go to the side a little bit. Is how did I find my way down?
I know I got down.
Okay,
and
so
grabbed
I
the
did
leg.
this.
Yeah.
You can do this. This is fine. Now watch. You can do this. Do you see how it's the exact reverse
Yes.
of what we're doing? It's the same movement. It has to be the same movement. Now I can also prop, depending on your strength too. This is, yeah. This, yeah. Depending on what you've got. Okay.
Well, you told me to freeze, so I froze like this.
Good. Okay, now coming down. Now, where do I go next? So you go here. Now what? Slide your arm out and lower yourself down. Don't plop. Okay. Now when I go from here, this is easy. Yes. Now I can shoot from here. Now when I go to now, if this is over, okay. Now I'm shooting. Now I need to get up. Here's one. Now where do you go? Two. 3, and you put it where you want to when you're going to move your legs.
Right.
4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up. Does that make sense? Yep. Both hands on. Up. Down. Fine. Rotate.
Okay. 1, 2.
So now think if I did this, and you had to get down behind cover, you had to get down that way, and we're standing here. We're standing here, I go, yeah, you do this. Does that
In a
make
couple
sense?
months, this is going to be natural, second nature. But right now,
No.
1,
Couple 10,
2.
and you got to feel it. You got to feel where you're going with it too. Just feel it. If you thought about it, if you had to get up, now let's do it where you have to get up quickly. But don't. What you need to do is we're ingraining this so you don't think about it consciously anymore, right?
Okay.
Cognitively. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just try. Try and go quickly. Okay. From down. Okay. Ready? And up.
Ah.
Okay, yeah, you felt where you're off. Okay, back down. So what'd you skip?
Everything.
Okay. So that was a mixture of what you did before and this one. Okay, now go a little bit slower. Leg. arm. Sit up. Perfect.
Ordering a new buttstock.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. 1, 2. Up. Yes. That was pretty good.
If I remember to do the leg first, everything else kind of falls into place.
Because when you do this is the same as when we kick from here. If I go from here to here, it starts this sequence.
Yeah.
So now this is the same as when we're on the ground and I do this and I turn, that it allows me to go to here. Okay.
Never done that. I want to do it.
Cool. This is a great exercise for you to do anyway. I can't believe we haven't done this one.
Nope.
This is not a fast exercise. Okay, now. Yep, now straight over your shoulder. I don't want to waste any energy holding it.
Got it. I found it, I think.
Okay. Feel your arm bending?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
All right,
Now.
I'm done. So you start right here.
Now leg
Okay.
bent. Now press with your ball of your right big toe. Roll your hip over and go shoulder to your ear. Now put your forearm on the floor. Bend. Right there. Yep, you got it.
Okay.
Yep, it stays there. Now, when you're here, okay, now sit up taller. No. Sit up taller this way. Watch what I'm doing. All I'm doing is punch the kettlebell higher. Yes. Now, adjust your hand and sit up like this. Perfect. Now, do this. Keep it here. Slide your left leg underneath. Yep. Okay, now from here, stand. Good.
Okay.
And then we reverse it, so you'll do the same thing. Step back. Go back up. When you step, you need to find where your body needs to be to do the whole movement.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't adjust your feet under you as you go. You put it exactly where it was if I was getting, now if I said get back up, but don't get out of your fighting stance now. Okay, now stand. Now get back down. This is a good exercise just to repeat this motion so that your body understands where it needs to be. If I had you do 50 of these, where would you want to put your arm? Okay, where would you want to put your legs? So I didn't waste any energy. Now if I had you do this. So watch my pace. If I had you do this 50 times, where would you want everything? Would you want it really deep? Would you want it really close? No, because this would be fried in a matter of seconds. So mechanically, what am I pushing with? You should know this from fighting stance. The ball of the big toe.
Inside of the big toe.
And to the ball of the
Support toe.
Yeah. So now when I do this, do you see it move? This is how we move. Do you see it?
I see it.
Okay. So now push back in. Use the ball of the big. Yes. Now down. Now up. Now down. Good. Now what you do is you play with that and you find the most efficient spot. Now stand all the way up. And now do this. Bring your foot back under. Okay. Now do this. Find that spot. Okay, and you go, well, I don't know exactly where it is. After you do it a couple hundred times, you will. Because you'll go, that doesn't feel quite right. And that doesn't feel, oh, there it is, right there. Now, for me, that's like a fighting stance. When I move, you'll see me move. You could do stop action for 20 minutes, and every time I stop, it'll look identical to each one. But it's the same as this. It's the same as shooting, long gun, handgun, knife, stick, fighting. Okay, now I find that spot. Okay, now you're strong structurally there, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, now when I do this, strong structurally, now do this. Watch this. Watch my left leg. How much energy does that take?
None.
Okay, and all I'm doing is rotating my base. Good, there you go. Now, do this, punch it higher, and find the floor.
Okay.
Okay, now, sit on your butt. Okay, it was too far underneath, yes. Okay, now do this. Put it back up and go to here. Now slide it to where your foot, your feet, or your knee and feet are in line, almost. Find your hand to the floor. Okay, now sit down on your butt and use your hand. There you go. Now slide your leg out. Now turn your body toward me more. Good. Now put your left forearm on the floor. Did it take much effort?
Not really.
Nope. Okay, now do this. Turn toward me even more and lay your arm down. Does this look familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now do this. To your back, leg down. Pull the kettlebell down. Simple. So you need to work that on both sides though too.
I thought I grabbed a light kettlebell.
That's only 15 pounds. I know. They're like, well, should I use a 35? Yeah, good luck. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Beginning to, yes, it makes sense.
Okay, now go
Putting it
back and
together.
let's go back to the firearm
Okay.
now, and I'll get to here. And now, what's cool is, so you don't have to do this. We're not shooting planes, so I don't have to do this. But if you did,
It would be straight up in the air.
and I would have to go through all those positions, and I could do this to pick it up, okay? But instead I'm here, or here, depending on the length, here. Handgun I would be here, sitting. Now, up. Do you see how it's the same? Do you see where I'm facing?
Yeah.
Okay, now, when I go to do this, I find my hand under here so I can do this and I can hold it for as long as I want it. So if you carry this here, how long would it take you to get to here to squeeze a shot off?
When you're
So
still
you got your
tracking
hand
the
here.
target the whole time.
Exactly. Now when I'm here, I can stand. I need to adjust my body to where I need to shoot from. So if I got up to here, this wouldn't be so good. If I got up to here, this wouldn't be so good. Okay. You see how it's moving exactly the same as the Turkish Get Up, except I don't have to do this.
Okay.
Okay. Now I go to here and I'm able to shoot from here. Okay. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
All right. That's good.
Do I do this at the same time, or do I do this
And
then
fine.
this?
After a while, they'll start to seam together. Now what? You slide. Yes. Good. Over. Yep. Good. Excellent. Now back, in, up, find your spot.
Okay.
Okay, now be able to do this, pop up, but just hold your left leg about an inch off the floor. Yeah, you feel how you had to move your hand?
A little bit.
Move it a little bit toward me, move it a half an inch. Yeah, now lift yourself up. Do you want to be there?
Nope.
Put it where you want it. How do you know where that is?
Because it's easier.
Yeah, because it works. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
Simple. Yeah, kinda. But it's a simple answer. Now you just have to work the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
So what'll happen, that movement from, oh, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I look like a fish flopping when I get up, to, you're gonna go, how'd you get up so fast? I just get up. Turkish Get Up.